Hi guys, I'm Joel.
And I'm Ryan, and welcome to JRTIME.
We're sorry it's been so long since our last video, but it's been a hectic couple of weeks starting up our new life in Toronto.
We actually filmed this episode 2.5 weeks ago, but it came out to almost 17 minutes, so we thought we'd reshoot and do more of a highlights reel of the end of our US trip. So last time we spoke to you, we were in Denver, and the next day we were going to jump on the California Zephyr train to San Francisco.
San Francisco and Seattle were the last two stops of our US leg of our tour. San Francisco was by far our absolutely favourite city in the world. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a liberal city. Nowhere in the world looks like San Francisco. It's just got this amazing look about it. It's such a liberal and diverse city, and it was so amazing. So yeah, hence why our last video was so long. So my three highlights in San Francisco were, number one, we went on a bike ride across the Golden Gate Bridge with our hostel tour group. It was kind of daunting at first because there was no, I haven't ridden a bike since I was a kid, and it was kind of just jump on a bike in the middle of the city amongst traffic and go. So I was,
on the right side of the road.
Yeah, on the right side of the road. So it was kind of daunting. It'd be like riding a bike around Sydney in peak hour. It was crazy. We went with a group of 13, and 7 of us were from Australia and 5 of us were from Brisbane. So we had a really fun day. So it was awesome. Number two was Pier 39. At Pier 39 there's a section that's designated to seals, and there's a good 500 seals that just have these platoons that I forget the history of it, but basically 500 seals live there, and that's their residence and it can't be touched. So basically they kind of just fight all day. They're really territorial and try and push each other off these platoons, so it was really cool to watch. Great tourist attraction, tons of people there. And number three, Alcatraz. So obviously the prison on an island, think a bit like Harry Potter, and it probably had one of the best audio guided tours that I've ever been on in my life. It wasn't go from A to B to C. You would start at one point and then you'd go back. And the tour was actually created by people that work there and stuff, so you had their voice in your ear the whole time. So it was really cool. So yeah, absolutely loved it. Top three things that were great.
And my top three things were, when we were there, the Beta Breakers race was on. And for those who don't know what Beta Breakers is, it's basically like a fun run, like a bridge to Brisbane. Everyone gets involved, everyone's in costume. If you're not in costume, there's something wrong with you. And we kind of just stumbled across it, and in the Golden Gate Park. So, and everyone was in all different costumes. So you had Batman, and there was also a lot of nudity going around as well.
I mean, there was all different people of different ages, sizes, and whatnot, getting their kid off and getting it out. It was kind of cool, there was elderly couples in the nude, and people taking photos, and they loved it. So it was such a cool thing. There was one thing that disturbed me. It was a large older gentleman in a Batman mask and a cape, and
nothing else.
He looked like Santa, and he was nude. That was kind of creepy.
My second highlight was Alamo Park. This is where the Painted Sisters are, and they have beautiful, great views out to the city. The Painted Sisters are just like a line of houses that are all in these different colours, and they're very iconic to San Francisco. My third highlight was the Castro, and the Castro is the gay village of San Francisco, and that's where Harvey Milk has his camera shop. And it's still there, and it's turned into an activist kind of centre where you can buy all kind of merchandise and stuff. I got one for my phone. It's a really cool case as well. And it's such a cool street. It has a lot of bars and very kind of boutiques. We thought it would have been a little bit kind of grungy, but it turned out to be one of the nicest suburbs we saw in San Francisco.
So another couple of quick highlights, because we love San Francisco so much, were the cable cars, Lombard Street, the Bay Bridge, and basically all of the area down at Pier 39. So as I said, if you haven't been to San Francisco, check it out. It is probably the greatest city in the world, and I absolutely love it.
So after San Francisco, we boarded the train again for our last train journey in the US to Seattle.
So my two favourite highlights in Seattle were, we went outlet shopping on the first day that we were there. We hired a car, we had a great time. We did about 3 or 4 trips back to the car. Spent a bunch of money, a lot of fun. On Saturday night we checked out some clubs in Seattle. We saw a whole bunch of drag shows. They were fun. It was our first time we'd seen drag in a long time, so it was really good. And it was really different too, because obviously drag at home is completely different over here. So we got a taste of something else, and there was a lot of hilarious acts on, so they were really good showgirls, and we absolutely loved them.
So my highlights of Seattle, I really love the Pike Street Market. It's this great big market that just sells everything from fish, a lot of seafood, flowers and all that kind of stuff. And I bought a really nice little clock that was made out of bicycle parts in Seattle. Another highlight for me was the Seattle Space Needle, which was their observatory, and it's kind of this spaceship thing that kind of sits in the air. It was cool, and it was funny because at the time we stumbled across the folk festival, and they had everything from, you know, like banjos and buskers and all this like great fresh food. So after Seattle, that was the end of our US trip for now, and we headed back to Vancouver and stayed with Daisy and Doug for another week.
I'm so thankful we got to spend another week with Daisy and Doug. It was so wonderful, you know, after being away for 6-7 weeks to come home to an amazing family that we absolutely adore. So we had a really great time with Daisy, Doug, Bryce, Jesse, Melissa, and the crew. We just had a lot of fun there. We love them so much and we can't wait to see them next time. And thank you so much for your hospitality. We love you so much.
So that's all we've got time for this week. We're currently settling in Toronto, and our next video will be
Life in Toronto.
See you next time.